Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Tom, and we're three of the lead lay chaplains for the Diocese of Nottingham. And in this resource, Encounter Him, we're going to be thinking about how we can encounter Christ in our daily lives. And we're going to hear now from some of the lay chaplains in our diocese about what encounter actually means.
So, the first question is, what does the theme of encounter mean? So maybe you think about that question as well. What does the theme of encounter mean? What does it mean to you? So for me, it's about an unexpected meeting with someone. So perhaps somebody who you know, but you meet them in a place that you weren't expected to see them. So it's a bit of a surprise, so I don't know. So if you've met somebody famous, perhaps you were walking down the street and suddenly you saw somebody. Or maybe you're in the supermarket and you bump into your teacher, or you bump into someone from school, or maybe you're at the park and you see some friends. So all of these are meeting people who you know, but perhaps in a place that you don't know. So you're encountering them, you're meeting them.
Now, when we talk about the word encounter, we're talking about the times in which we see Christ in our daily lives. This may be through people, it may be through things like nature, things like that. Just those moments where we can kind of see and feel Christ's presence in the room. Those moments where you kind of feel a little bit overwhelmed, maybe with joy or with love. But it's those moments where we can feel Christ in the world and we know that He's still with us.
What does the word encounter mean? Well, encounter means to meet someone. When you see a friend down the road, you're having an encounter with them. You're coming to meet them.
Encounter means to have God's presence when you pray. You can also encounter God by being influenced by Him when you pray.
So the second question is, when have you had an encounter with Christ? When have you had an encounter with Christ? And that's quite a tough question. And I would say for me, I encounter Christ when people are kind and caring to me, especially people perhaps who aren't my friends or my family.
When have I encountered Jesus? When I was young, when I was a student, I was feeling very sad one day, and I went into the cathedral, St Giles in Edinburgh, because I just wanted to be on my own. And suddenly, I felt this amazing joy. I felt happier than I'd ever been in my life. And I suddenly realised that Jesus was there with me, looking after me and showing me how much He loved me. And it's never happened again, but once was enough to show how much Jesus loved me.
I encounter Jesus when I make time to talk to Him, whether that's in school, whether that's going to Mass, spending some time in adoration, or just having some quiet time to really listen to what Jesus is trying to say to me.
I encounter God when I get tackled in football, but He tells me to carry on going.
I encounter God when I go to church and receive the sacraments of confession.
And then finally, the last question is, how could we help others to encounter Christ? How could we help others to encounter Christ? So for me, I suppose it's about doing the same thing. It's about me then being kind and caring towards other people, especially people who aren't my friends or who aren't my family. So people perhaps where it's a little bit harder, you've got to make a bit of an effort.
How we can help other people encounter Christ is by showing that love. It's by maybe sharing your sweets with someone, maybe including someone who you don't usually include, maybe saying hello to someone who looks a bit down today.
We can help others encounter Jesus in so many ways. By being kind to each other, by smiling at someone who's having a bit of a hard day, by holding the door open, offering to help people who need it. Not just our friends, anyone who needs help, because that's what Jesus would do.
one way that we can encounter Christ a little bit more is to kind of look for the joy in everything. You know, sometimes you wake up in the morning and you think, oh look, it's raining outside, but actually if it's raining outside, it's that classic story you hear when you're younger, but it means that the flowers are getting watered, they're getting fed. And so just looking for joy in those things in life, those little things like a cup of tea in the morning, maybe your friend smiling at you, maybe finding a pound coin on the floor, just trying to find those moments of joy in life where you can kind of feel Christ's love inside you. And maybe you can try and share that love with others to help them encounter Christ as well, just doing kind things with people. Is there someone that you could let them know how thankful you are for them and how much you appreciate them? Send them a little card or a little text just telling them how much you appreciate them. That is one way that you could help others to encounter Christ.